Allow me to share a hard truth with you that nobody in the human resources department is going to admit out loud. If your resume has your college graduation year on it, if it stretches back to the 1990s, or if it lists an AOL, Hotmail, or Comcast email address, well, you're going to get rejected before a human being ever has the chance to even glance at your application.
Carly Ruskowski with AARP telling News 8 workers shouldn't let the fear of age discrimination stop you from following your dreams and instead fuel you to make smart moves when applying. Start with age proofing your resume.
And while you want to include your credentials, you don't have to include your graduation dates. Don't include street address. Including the entire mailing address on your resume is an outdated practice.
It's also time to change your email if you're still using AOL or Hotmail. Switch to Yahoo, Gmail, or something else more modern. You may also focus your search on companies looking to invest specifically in older workers.
Over 3,000 organizations have signed the pledge and have committed to an age-inclusive workforce, with almost 500 organizations signing in 2023 alone.
One thing that hasn't changed, networking is key. Ruskowski suggests you start here.
And if you're not on LinkedIn, it's a good time to join. If you create your profile, make sure to stand out by including a profile picture as well as filling out the skills section.
Include industry-specific terms in your skills descriptions. And for more guidance, AARP has free resources available.
All right, look, it's not necessarily because of a human recruiter sitting behind a desk with a bias that an older email address will be looked at, askance. Is because of what's known as the applicant tracking system, okay, which is enabled at this point by AI. So these are software algorithms that companies use that screen thousands of resumes, okay? These algorithms, they're programmed to look for modern, relevant, tech forward keywords and clean formatting. Now, if your resume looks like a historical archive of your life, okay, and I know you want to tell your story, I get it, but the algorithm is going to flag that as overqualified, stale, expensive, okay, and it quietly throws your application into the digital trash. Don't call us, we'll call you. Look, let's take a few minutes to fix all that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to age proof your resume. And this isn't going to take long at all. We aren't going to lie about your age. No way. We're not going to be dishonest. We're going to shift the focus away from your age to your value. All right, let's go over the 4 absolute rules of the modern 50 plus resume. Okay. Rule number 1, the 15-year rule. Now, I know you're proud of all the projects that you may have done back in 1998. I get it. So am I, right? I know you worked incredibly hard climbing the corporate ladder back in the early 2000s. But in this modern job market, anything you did more than 15 years ago is practically ancient history to a hiring manager, more so to these AI algorithms. Technologies change, systems change, and management styles change. So to age proof your resume, you need to ruthlessly chop off your work history going back at this point to 2011. Okay. Next year, okay, it'll be 2012. Okay. 15 years is what we're looking for here. Now, if you have absolutely vital experience from earlier in your career that you can't bear to go without mentioning, don't list it under the chronological work history. Okay. Instead, create a small 2-line section, no more, at the bottom of your resume titled Additional Professional Experience. Okay. If you worked on the Apollo program, you probably want to mention that, right? But do it in this section, Additional Professional Experience. Now, under that section, simply list the previous titles and the companies or the organizations with no dates attached to it. Okay. that hiring manager wants more information in that interview, then you can expound at that point. So let's say you were a regional sales manager for IBM. Okay. Then just all you got to do is put that. Okay. Again, no dates. All right. Now, this shows that you have the pedigree and depth of experience without screaming, I've been doing this since Ronald Reagan was in office, for example. All right, let's get rid of dead giveaways. Now, there's certain formatting elements that instantly signal your age to a recruiter. And let's recognize them and get rid of them right now. Your graduation years, right? Nobody needs to know you graduated college in 1989 or 1994. Keep your degrees, keep your university names, of course, but forego listing the years. The only thing a recruiter needs to know is that you have whatever credential it is, not necessarily the year it was awarded. Your physical address. Now this is a weird one, right? If your resume has your full street address, delete it. Delete that address. Okay. Modern resumes only require your city, state, and zip code. Listing a full address is actually a security risk in today's world, and it looks dated. Okay. The references available upon request. Okay. Now, anybody who's my age, 50 plus, we all are familiar with that, right? It's a classic 20th century resume staple. It's 2026, we're in the 21st century. It's completely redundant. Companies know that you're going to provide references if they ask for them. So leaving that line blank or just deleting that, altogether on your resume uh, is appropriate at this point. You don't want to waste vital real estate on the resume, and you don't want to uh, harken back to anything that might indicate that the last time you looked for a job was last century.
Yeah!
Life is unpredictable.
Nice man Jackson down here at Top Gun Motors.
We can insure anyone.
For you. It's gonna totally take your breath away. Gonna send you right through the danger zone. Check me. I got a red car. I got black and red too. No money down.
Even him. Get approved. Link in the description.
Keep it rolling.
All right, now this one is going to, throw some people for a loop, but check your email address. If you're using, let's say, John Smith at AOL.com, what do you think of when you hear that AOL.com? You've got mail. Takes you back to the 90s, right? Yahoo.com even. Is Yahoo even still around? Believe it or not, I have a Yahoo email address. I don't give it out often, okay? Even these, local cable provider emails. You want to do something that's much more relevant and up to date. So we're talking Gmail, for example, Outlook. Uh, those are the domains you want to go with, okay? And you might even have to go and create a Gmail address. That's fine, but you want to do so professionally. So first name, last name is probably going to have some numbers in there because we're so far down the road from people creating their first email address. But make it professional. John Smith, 123 pound, whatever, at gmail.com. Okay. Sexy Beast, number 1 at Outlook, not going to work. Okay. So it takes no time at all to change that up, right? Make sure you do that. All right. So you're trying to re-enter the workforce. You've been laid off. Company closed, whatever happened. You need a job, right? Pay attention to what we just talked about in order to be as competitive as you can possibly be, especially since as an older worker, there are going to be some preconceived notions about you with any human hiring manager. And that's what you're trying to get to, right? You're trying to get past the algorithms and you're trying to get in front of a human being because then you can ingratiate your personality upon them, expound on experiences you've had that may be germane to the task at hand, whatever is being done at the company you're interviewing for, right? So in order to do that, you've got to give yourself every advantage and be as relevant as possible. Because look, a lot of companies are going to look at you and say, this guy, this girl, they might be expensive because they've been in the workforce so long. But they also will say and weigh work ethic, okay? Generation X looks at duties surrounding the work world by and large in a different way, I believe, than, the millennials may, okay? Some at least. They're going to look at that experience that you have and say, you know what? This woman, this man, they can hit the ground running sooner than someone without that experience. Okay. So we want to give that hiring manager the opportunity to see you for what you are, what you bring, the value that you have. So take a look at those and watch this video as many times as you want. Give it a like, subscribe, share it with someone else who's over 50, who is trying to get back into the job market, or even transition to another job that may be more secure or more lucrative. Okay, we got to stay competitive.